Our number 7 quarterback heading into 2025 for the Fin Out of Water football show is, round of applause, CJ Stroud, baby. Talk to me about CJ Stroud, Rod.
Man. It was a pleasure to watch this guy on film, Herbie. And I gotta give it to you, man. I don't know if there's a quarterback in the league who has a slicker, smoother throwing motion than this guy, Herbie. And to be honest with you, despite the troubles that the Texans had last year, when you consider they had a lack of a run game, which is tied to obviously having one of the poorest offensive lines, especially interior offensive line. He had injuries at receiver, losing Nico Collins and Tank Dell. So, and I think Stephon Diggs, if I'm not mistaken, right? Stephon Diggs got hurt too, right? If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
Stephon Diggs got hurt.
Like,
Tank Dell got hurt for the rest of the
like
season. Nico
all,
Collins
all
missed a
of
bunch of
his,
games, bro.
yeah. So, a guy who didn't have all his weapons got hurt. But when you watch him, Herbie, and you watch CJ Stroud on film, Herbie, I'll put it like this. Kurt Warner, who does his QB Confidential videos where he breaks down quarterbacks, a long time ago, maybe a couple years back, he was doing a video on Tua back when Tua had emerged with Mike McDaniel, and he said something that stuck with me. And when I was watching film on CJ Stroud, this is what I got from it. Kurt Warner once said that there are guys, like there's different kinds of special when you look at quarterbacks. Sometimes you have the guys who hit some of their layups, they miss some of their layups, but they give you a lot of special. And then you have guys who hit 95% of their layups and they give you a little bit of special. And when I look at CJ Stroud, Herbie, that's what he looks like to me, Herbie. You watch him on film, he is efficient. He knows exactly where to go with the football. He's not one of those quarterbacks who, when he's dropping back, he hitches multiple times. He's throwing that shit on the first hitch, Herbie. And he's just so on point. He knows exactly where to go. And it was just, you watch the Texans film and you go, damn, man, like if the interior line was just a little bit better, if the receiving core
A
was just a
little
little
bit better. They were terrible.
a lot of it, a
We
lot of it
gotta
better.
remember, bro. This is a man who got sacked 8 times in the playoff game, bro. If you get
Oh,
sacked 8 times in the playoff game with your starters, with majority of the line that were the starters, that means that there was malpractice. That there's no reason that you should even get to that point where you have a offensive line that's bad enough to let you get sacked 8 times, bro. 8 times. So that just lets you know what he was dealing with. And that's really the theme of basically the reason why we get ranked these guys and what separated these guys from everybody else, especially 7 and up, is these are the guys that no matter what the situation is, who is in the lineup, who's out the lineup, if you have a running game, if you don't have a running game, they just make enough plays, right?
yep.
Like that is truly the best of the best. Can you be productive when everything is going crazy around you and falling apart around you? Can you still make throws? CJ Stroud made throws in chaos 17 straight weeks in a row.
Mhm.
In a row.
Crazy plays. I mean, there are plays where he's falling to the ground and he still gets a completion on the fourth down or a 3rd and 2. You know what I mean? Like you saw him do it regularly, Herbie. And man, if I'm a listen, the Texans, they did address their offensive line a little bit. They drafted Ursary in the 2nd round. They traded for Tomlinson. They're tinkering around with their offensive line, so we can only hope that whatever they're trying to work out. And then you also the offensive coordinator changed as well, Herbie. The offense that they ran was very similar. The previous offense under Bobby Slowick was more of a closer to the West Coast style of offense. Who knows exactly what kind of style of offense they're going to run for CJ Stroud, Herbie? But he's a guy that you could put a lot on his plate. He's extremely smart. He processes really fast, and he's a treat to fucking watch, Herbie. He really is. He's a surgical operator, honestly.
All right, man.